You recite to him. The way it goes is like this. You're learning adab. The adab is this. You sit close to your ustad or your colleague till your knees touch each other. After that, you start off with Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim wa sallallahu ala rasulihil kareem, or something like that, praising Allah and sending blessings on His Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then you recite to him Bismillah again, and you start to recite the poem. Okay, the first paragraph. After you're finished, then he will say if you made a mistake or something like that. If you disagree, you ask me immediately. Then he recites it to you, and you hear if he made a mistake and the different styles of how it's recited correctly from both of you. At that next point, you have another part of the lesson, which I'll be listening to also. Okay? And at the same time, you'll have to pay attention to this lesson. All right. That's for the advanced students. For everybody else who's normal, we're over here. We're doing King Abu Jad. Sabiqan, previously on Abu Tawba's class, we had dealt with the introduction, right? The introduction to this whole text was with Basmala, walhamdulillah, then blessings on the Prophet. I'll have my say with you today concerning orthographics. And what is orthographics?
Big word for the alphabet.
Big word for alphabet. Come on, let's regurgitate. It's just a big word for the alphabet. Okay? So, what about the alphabet? Descriptions of their numerals, points of articulation. As each letter comes, as it does, it has its own sensation. As it comes up the mouth, as it comes out the mouth, as it goes through the teeth or comes off the lips, it has its own sensation. And this sensation is a shifa, if said correctly. Naam. But let them start right there. So, having done that, do I have any questions about that? Do I have any questions about that? If there are no questions about, yes, no, maybe? If there are no questions about that, then we are moving on to King Abu Jad. We had previously spoke that the alphabet was derived from a story of old where the kings, 6 greedy, selfish kings, wanted everything for themselves and didn't want to share anything. And from among the things they didn't want to share was the shade of the clouds. And so in that regard, they got under the cloud, and the cloud killed them. The Arabs then had a chance to use the names of these kings with some slight alteration, to come up with the alphabet. They're using the letters of these people's names. The first king's name is King Abu Jad. Say that. You lower it just a little bit, guys. King Abu Jad. Say again.
King Abu Jad.
And Abu Jad literally means what? Great-grandfather. The grandfather of my father is my great-grandfather. So that's an interesting point to note right there. Okay? Now, after this point, we go down and deal with Abu Jad, because Abu Jad deals with the letters Alif, Ba, Jim, and Dal. What letters does it deal with?
Alif, Ba, Jim, Dal.
Louder, please.
Alif, Ba, Jim, Dal.
And we can see that mukawwanatun. We can see it being made up from the letters in his name. So now the first one is Alif. We'll deal with the poem. You've had it for at least a week. Let's deal with it on the board. Now, Alif is the first of signs. It's makhraj, hard to find. And deep inside my mouth, I find a Hamza lives inside. With idhar, yes, the Alif is itself and also Hamza. While Hamza is itself, not else. That's it, just Hamza, Hamza. Loud and strong while low restrained, opening sifat. The Alif comes along with mad, just following a fat. Or shows up at the ends of words right before they crash. Separates and demarcates to help the reader past. While Hamza, as it seems to need a tad more of a sharh, it rides upon the alifun, the waw, and even ya. Shiddatun with jahrun, samtun istifal. Fathun describes alifun, and 1, its numeral. Let's break this down. Go back to the top, please. Right there. Okay. Let me stop you guys for a second. Pay attention here for a few moments with us, okay? Here. Now, Alif is the first of signs. What this line means, and you can write, but you must know this. I will ask you to explain it to me. It's not enough that you memorize this. Each one, what? Teach one. That's real. We're not talking rhetorically. Each one has to teach one. Or close your book, turn off the CD, and go home. You know? Now, Alif is the first of signs. What that line means is that Alif is the first letter. What does that line mean? Okay, that's what was intended with that line. And we need to know the first. So it's the first of signs. Why does he call it a sign? It's called a sign because every letter is just a sign. Like every word is just a label for something else. The letter is just a graphic visualization of the sound that you have off your tongue. That's all it is. So it's an alama or a sign. I'm getting fancy now. Jazakallah khair, barakallah feek. So alif is the first sign. It's makhraj, hard to find. Now, he says here, it's makhraj, hard to find. What is a makhraj? How many types are there? Two. There are two types of makhraj. What are they? Haqiqi wa ghayru haqiqi. Meaning, a literal makhraj. A makhraj is a point of articulation or a point of enunciation. It literally, if you want to know, is the place where the sound is born. The place where the sound pops out. Say pop. You start it with that sound, that point of articulation, and you end it with it. That's why I like that word. Pop. You see how your lips came together? And you end it with your lips coming together because of the way of the word. That would be considered the makhraj. Now I said there's two types of makhraj. A makhraj that is literal, like the letter P in pop, and a makhraj that is not literal. That is, you can't put your finger on it. Put your finger on the place of articulation of P. Now, say ah. Now, put your finger on the place of articulation of ah. It's impossible unless you got with your hair all in your mouth, you know, which wouldn't be becoming, right? Why? Because its makhraj is hard to find. Alif has the type of makhraj that is not one that you can put your finger on. Why? And deep inside my mouth, it's somewhere in the mouth here, the makhraj. Everybody say ah. It's there somewhere, right? Now we go to another point. And deep inside my mouth, I find a hamza lives inside. Say that. And deep inside my mouth, I find a hamza lives inside. Focus here. What it means here is that hamza comes from the bottom of your throat. Okay? You could put it here, I guess. I'm sorry. It comes from the bottom. Say hamza faha'un. Say ah. Just like this. If you open your mouth, you sit up straight, roll your shoulders back, pick your head up and go ah. You'll feel the sound come straight out your mouth. Say ah. Ah. And control it. Don't let come out. Say ah. Do you feel it popping off in the bottom of your throat, almost close to your stomach? Then you're doing it right. That's where he says here, and deep inside my mouth, I find a hamza lives inside. Hamza is the deepest sound, the deepest letter in your throat. Mafhum? No. You'll see that again. With idhar, yes, the alif is itself and also hamza. What does it mean here? He means here, what are the things that we're looking for in this poem? Descriptions of their numerals. So we're looking for a sifat, right? The numerals, right? And the points of articulation, which is the makhraj, right? But the points of articulation, he said the points. There are 2 points. So there's a point of articulation from its makhraj perspective, and then there's a point of articulation when it's mixed up with other letters. That's what we call the tajweed rule. Okay? I'm sorry. I'll write tajweed in English. Or whatever we call this. Okay? So we're looking for the tajweed rule there, right? And we're also looking for some words in English that are similar to those sounds or exact to those sounds. So we say here, idhar is the tajweed rule for alif, or what we mean by this when we say alif, we mean also hamza. Because in actuality, idhar is not the tajweed rule for alif. What does alif mean? What does alif mean? Alif. What does it mean? It means itself and also hamza. So alif means itself, which is alif, right? And it also means hamza. But he said, but hamza is itself, not else. That's it, just hamza, hamza. Okay? So that means hamza is actually 2 types of hamzas. Hamza, hamza. All that is meant when we say this letter alif. Alif means itself. And alif also means hamza. But hamza, does hamza mean alif? No. Hamza means itself. That's it. Not else. Just hamza, Hamza. And he mentions the Hamza for a number of points. In Arabic, there's a rule. It's in English too, but we learn all of this from Arabic. If you say something twice right after each other, that's ta'keed. That's emphasis.